She's not sorry. My ref says this. We're gonna jump in. Yeah, this is about the recent VTuber, male VTuber discourse, and it's really, so there's been a huge male VTuber discourse around once again. It started as just like something lighthearted. I think as a meme, basically like VTuber Tinder, right? Men using like VTubing as like the new Tinder. I think that is what it originally started out as. It then turned eventually into like the usual discussion of male VTubers are predators. We are not, but the space loves to paint us as such. Regardless, eventually started out with Bao doing a stupid tweet, a generalized tweet, which people didn't like, and then Shondo also added something to that, which was really stupid, genuinely really stupid. She had I think a mental breakdown on stream. I hope she's fine. While what she said was stupid, I hope she's genuinely fine. Anyways, we'll jump in. I'll add us along.
Hey, what's up, guys? Riff here. So it's been a very chaotic week in the VTubing scene, especially among some of the popular indie VTubers. And trust me, it pains me to make this video, where we're going to largely focus on Fallen Shadow, aka Shondo, because recently she has made some really out-of-pocket statements where she has accused people with differing opinions of being groomers, and then she made a complete non-apology about the situation, and then she doubled and tripled and quadrupled down on this whole thing.
Same for Bao, by the way. Same for Bao. And the funny part is, you know what this, however, created this whole discussion is? Yoshi might actually just hate you. Your favorite VTuber might actually just hate you because you're a man and they're actually just using you for money. There have been quite a few middle to big size indie VTubers being fairly misandrist, which is really interesting to see, knowing that the main audience of VTubers is men.
Leaving many, including a lot of her fans, very upset. So I know this might be a hard video for some people because you guys might be fans of hers, but I respect her too much. I enjoy her content. I respect her too much to coddle her and act like she's immune to criticism, because that is not the case. Now, for context behind all of this, it begins with a tweets made by Bao the Whale. Now, she made this response that many think is talking about situations like the one involving the Mizkif allegations, or other stuff as well, where she basically says that if a large male content creator approaches you and love bombs you as a small female content creator...
Which is funny because C-Dog made the exact same thing, did the exact same thing for Bao as far as I'm aware. So basically what she's saying is technically C-Dog, so basically some of her friends do fall under that category as well. I find that very, very weird. See, the problem is that it was about the specific situation, but the problem is that you generalized it. You generalized it when it should not be generalized. And the really funny part is that you could have just said Mizkif. You could have just said Mizkif and Emiru. That this is about Mizkif and Emiru. You could have just said that, and there would have been no problem whatsoever. But you didn't. But you didn't. For some odd reason, you didn't. Because once again, we're fence sitting.
Run. Okay? Now, some people thought she was generalizing all men. I don't think in this post that's what she's doing, but my correction is that, well, large male content creators can do this to small female content creators, and large female content creators can do this to small male content creators, and even further, large female content creators can do this to other female content creators. Now, like I said, a lot of people looked at this and said, oh, Bao's saying all men are bad. And I think, again, based on this context, maybe a bit of a reach, but her response in the coming days...
See, the problem is that you now can say it's a bit of a reach, but the follow-ups that she did destroy this point because it cannot be a reach, because she just straight up yeah, she doubled and tripled down. Like, she doubled and tripled down. What do you say about this?
And when she was facing criticism for this post, is making people scratch their heads. In fact, she was caught.
You can say that, right? You can say that, but then she likes this bullshit.
Liking this tweet where it says, "Men that are crying about this," referring to her tweet, "are the same men that cry about us saying we choose the bear." Now, if you're not terminally online, maybe you don't understand that reference, but for the last year, there have been sentient human beings who have said that if I was lost in the woods, I'd rather be there with a bear as opposed to a human male. I'm sorry for whatever happened to someone who actually picks the bear, but get help, because that's insane. That's crazy. On top of that, Bao left this message on Discord blaming Cinder's fans and grifters for the backlash she is currently facing.
There has been a male VTuber on my Twitter timeline soloing female VTubers. It has been crazy. Bro has been cooking the entire time. Bro does this now for a living, what it feels like, and it's funny. It's funny. Yeah, it's funny. It's funny how this turned out.
And then on top of that, she went live on stream where she was basically saying, if you're upset about her comments, you have a receding hairline. And somehow she knows the name of a product that's supposed to reduce a receding hairline for men. How she has this on deck right here, I don't know. But if that actually worked, the people who made that would be billionaires because, you know. But anyways, that's the context. And then,
as far as I'm aware, minoxidil does not bring your hairline back. It just stops the hair loss.
And you had this individual who criticized some of her recent acts.
Yeah, it's Floki. Floki has been out here cooking. He has been cooking, because he's right. This really show that a lot of female VTubers actually just have honey traps. Realistic. He isn't wrong, because there's a lot of female VTubers that really just have honey traps. Or what else? He called honeypots.
Activity. Right? Now, I don't even necessarily agree with everything this guy's saying, but he simply disagreed with Bao. Now, this is where we get into the response from Shondo, where she sees this person criticizing Bao, and she says this: "Groomer outed alerts." Now, I say this because Shondo is someone that I've defended. Many people have defended because there are...
Absolutely, there was this whole drama with her being called a PDF and people making fun of a deceased mother, and we all jumped in and defended her and said that that's, by the way, not true and shit. And it's like, the problem is that she does... Basically, she does what others did to her, which is hypocritical. You can't make false allegations when you exactly know how it feels like to have false allegations on your ass. That is just the truth. How? See, this could have gone really, really bad. Because what if some deranged motherfucker would have actually started harassing the dude? What then? And then she chalked it up to, like, it being British humor. Sorry, but that doesn't fly. That doesn't fly. That doesn't... I can't go around and call somebody a grapist as a joke. And then chalk it up to, like, this is German humor. No, I can't. Sorry. Doesn't work. They show those who choose the bear. 1K's that bear attacked human. Let's see if they keep their decision. They should watch a bear attack uncensored. Then they would quickly change their mind.
Viral tweets with 100,000 or even 200,000 likes calling her a Nazi, a pedophile, a pedo enabler because of her streaming content, her lolly VTuber model, and her voice, which is high-pitched. And people like myself have rightfully defended her from those baseless allegations. And she doesn't need people like me defending her, but that's what I felt compelled to do on multiple occasions. So to see her calling someone a groomer for a differing opinion is gross. It's ridiculous. And anyone trying to excuse this as a joke, if anyone else, let's say another VTuber, called Shondo a groomer for a differing opinion, you be ripping out their throats. But when she does it, it's a joke or something that, you know, people shouldn't take too seriously. Well, you know what? I'm not going to coddle her. She's a grown adult. She understands the gravity of saying stuff like this. And here's the thing. Spoiler alert. She's going to, quote unquote, apologize for this.
That was not a... So, an apology is directed towards somebody. What she did was not apologize. What she should have done is deleted the tweet here. Straight up, right? Deleted it. I don't know if she did. Maybe she did. Maybe she did. Maybe she did afterwards. Who knows? Maybe she did. I can't tell. I would need to look at my own quote tweets. Regardless. She should have apologized to Floki, and the thing would have been off the table. The problem would have been solved. She did not do that.
But this reply is still up. Do you see this? It's been 3 days, by the way. 1.1 million views on this reply, calling a random innocent guy a groomer. Now, even if 1% of the people who saw this believed the veracity of what she's trying to claim, that would be over 1,000 people who now think this innocent dude is a groomer over a differing opinion. That's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. And then we get to her apology, right? A lot of people are really mad at her, including a lot of her fans. And she said this big wall of text. Let me read it. I recently said something pretty mean on impulse that's being pretty roughly misinterpreted.
There's nothing. How much can you misinterpret? How can you misinterpret? Groomer alert, groomer outed alert. See, that's like saying, that's the same thing with like some other things that I've when people say like all these kind of people, like grouping people together, but then saying like not all. You misinterpret what I'm saying. Sorry, it doesn't work. Doesn't work. This is just an example. Not that she said anything like that. I know that she is actually she's actually a good person. I think she's just heavily fucked up with this one because someone was criticizing a friend. Regardless, this doesn't work. There's not much to misinterpret.
It's being misinterpreted. This is the context. It's 3 words. She called someone a groomer for having a differing opinion. It's British humor to throw words around. I know that one of the biggest audiences outside of the US is the UK, for me. British lads and ladettes out there. Is calling someone a groomer like British humor? Am I missing something? I don't know. Please correct.
British humor. You're a rapist. What? I didn't mean it. It was British humor. No, that's not how it works. That's not how it works. Also, if it were British humor, that would also, like, how would somebody who is not British recognize that? If this was British humor, I would not understand that. And I have a solid British audience. No, sorry. If you called them a sausage, fine. I've heard that one before, but you didn't.
Correct me if I'm wrong. But let's continue. And I personally have seen so much hate on the internet now, especially directed towards myself, that I've become completely and utterly numb to it. You know, I've been hit with the same ridiculous, baseless allegations that she faces, and you know what? It has the opposite effects. I understand the gravity of words that she used, and I would never use it without any sort of proof or backing whatsoever. I don't buy that. I don't buy the utterly numb. It's not a good excuse. But she continues on saying, "It seems I might have forgotten many people haven't really reached that point yet." Okay. "I'm always trying to be a better, stronger, and kinder person, and it was wrong to thoughtlessly say something cruel. Keep that in mind as we continue. That said, if there are robberies in your area, it's not a bad idea to lock your door."
So when somebody criticizes your friend because your friend said something stupid, that means it's okay to call them a groomer. To call somebody else a groomer, the person that criticized. What? What kind of argument is that? Also, one is based in evidence. You know there's robberies happening in your area, so you close the door because you know they're happening. But you have no... That means you have proof that they are happening. Also, it's just... You shouldn't just lock your door because there's robberies in your area. You should always lock your door. So, once again, kind of missing the point. Also, you have no proof that the dude is a groomer. So why would you call him a groomer? Or evidence?
If someone starts yelling about how you're oppressing them by telling people to do that, they might have a reason to feel so personally slighted. Are we talking about the same thing? Just like randomly calling people groomers for having a differing opinion on something? Okay. I think as men and women in the modern era, there is an incredible amount of strain between us, and I have always been an advocate for breaking that wall down by calling people groomers. The strife and conflict...
Kinda. See this wall of text could be... would have not been needed. Would have not been needed if you just delete the tweet, tweeted the dude and apologized. Just said, "I'm sorry for calling you that. That was not right. There's no evidence that you are what I just said. I'm moving on." Moving on. That is all you could have done. That is all. That would have been people would have been fine. Nobody would have cared anymore. Of course, there would have been some dumb fucks, fine, that would have still complained. But aside from that, people would have not cared anymore then. The problem is solved. It's off the table. You didn't do anything wrong by then anymore. But instead, you doubled down. And you're gonna see how she doubled down. That's like the problem. I'm not gonna lie, before I learned the predatory word for groomer and... Not 14, I thought I meant like grooming an animal. Like, I mean like innocent bathing, trimming, and basic care for an animal. Yeah, that's like unfortunately fucked up because they're both like, they have not the same meaning depending on context, but that's the problem. That's a rough word right there, which is why nobody uses the word grooming for animals.
Conflict is pointless and does nothing but perpetuate this stupid cycle of hate. Shondophrenics know I am literally the opposite of a misandrist, and I don't take kindly at all to my thoughts being interpreted that way. TLDR, sorry for drama whoring. I stream a lot, very tired. Said the quiet part out loud.
Which is like completely, see, that part is completely destroying this apology. What do you mean the quiet part out loud? What do you mean by that? So you do mean what you said. That's like the problem.
Very interesting apology, where it's captioned by saying the quiet part out loud. So you do believe what you're saying. Again, am I missing something, guys? This is ridiculous. I can't tell you to be nice and also be mean myself. I think when you're doing an apology for calling someone falsely a groomer, you should
maybe also actually apologize to the person and not vague post about what you said. Hello? No, my classic saying, lights are on, but nobody's at home.
like use proper spelling. That's just me. I know I'm overly critical, but here's a good breakdown. Someone made this this response breaking down everything going on with this post, and yeah, it's a lot of deflection, becoming the victim in a situation where you're being criticized for calling someone a groomer. It's kind of ridiculous. And then looking at her replies, someone said, "No, you're right. Don't apologize to these parasites. They'll only demand more." And she says, "I am apologizing for saying the quiet part out loud." So she, I guess, triples down on this point where she's saying, "I'm just saying the quiet part out loud," calling someone a groomer for having a different opinion. Interesting. Here's more. She's like, I don't care about being dogpiled. And you have this response saying, "I don't think I'll ever understand showing kindness to people that wouldn't ever consider to offer you the same." And she says, "Being kind to the people who do not deserve it is the strongest and most badass thing you can do, actually." And it usually...
You know the meme gets criticized once, freaking dies. This one applies here pretty well.
frustrates them and makes them rethink their behavior a lot more effectively than being cruel would. What are we talking about here? She's showing kindness to, I guess, someone who doesn't deserve it and calls them a groomer? Did I hit my head or something, guys? This seems so...
Oh my... All you had to do was just apologize to the person. All you had to do was apologize to the... All you had to do. That is all you had to do. Why are people dying on a hill? They're wrong. What is this? What is this? What is this? Is the ego really that big? Dude, just apologize. What is... But that's not... It's not a big deal.
So ridiculous. But let's continue on. She says further, "So much goes on in VTubing that doesn't go public. So many situations happen that don't get Google Docied, because if every situation of abuse or manipulation or cruelty that happens behind the scenes, especially among bigger creators, was written down and posted publicly, we'd be typing them up all day." Which is a weird point, because if you know there's something going on behind the scenes, why
you're not saying anything? Do you know something that we don't?
Aren't you talking about it? Right?
I think that if you know that something bad is going on behind the scenes and you're not saying something, you are also, you are part of the problem. 100%. Anyways.
If you know there's some abuse going on, why would you shield the people who are doing it? I don't know. Just a point. Now, in response to what she said...
I'm kind of surprised that Ref had the balls now that I look at this.
I made this reply that has like 6,000+ likes. So clearly it's not just people who support me, but a lot of people in her own fan base. Because this post is almost ratioing her in her own home turf in her quote-unquote apology. And I basically said, "I'm not going to coddle you. I respect you too much to do that. And this is not British humor. What you said is very serious. And people have defended you against those sorts of accusations in the past, and you should know better at this point." That's it. But it did resonate with a lot of people. And what was her response to all this? Because I know she saw this. Let's be real. There's no way she didn't. She made a further reply saying, "If you're reading this, it's already too late. Run away It's More Fun kitten with a hat that says the CEO of grooming. So this is her response. She's like, oh, yeah, I called someone a groomer, but I call myself one too. What?
You're not helping. That's a weird response. You can tell, you can call them adults, but they still act like grown-up children. What is this? Like, okay. That doesn't change the point. Yeah, she wanted to believe that she was doing the right thing. I don't know. That's what it seems to be.
Again, I don't want to hammer this home, but I know there's a lot of people who are going to defend her no matter what, and they'll be mad at me for criticizing her. But if anyone else called Shondo a groomer or acted this way, you would be ripping their throats out. Do not lie. Do not lie to yourself. Do not try to lie to other people, because you know exactly how you would respond in a parallel situation. But this one, it's fine, I guess.
To be fair, this completely alienated me. I don't know, this alienated me. It feels now wrong consuming any of her content in any way, shape, or form. I'm gonna be real. This completely put me off. I don't know.
Because she's your Oshi. Yeah, I respect her too much to coddle her like that, and I think more people should feel that way. But anyways, that's gonna do it for this wild, wacky situation. Please leave all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video.
This could have been fixed super easily. This entire situation could have been fixed that damn easily. Instead of calling somebody else a groomer, you could have just literally straight up said, sorry. Didn't mean it. I've deleted the tweet. I was wrong. Straight up. Straight up. And this entire situation would have never happened if some retard whale, because, sorry, you know, guys, I don't like Bao whatsoever. I don't like this upper VTuber clique in general that much. Would have just not did that weird, wacky tweet. Or more so, would have not made those weird, wacky responses. All Bao had to do was literally just edit. There's an edit function for people that have the Twitter subscription, right? She could have literally just edited the tweet. And it would have been fine as well. Maybe said, I put myself vague. You know what? Even maybe mention Miskiff and Emiru, because I'm pretty sure that it was about that. No, you did not. No, you did not. And that is where the problem stems from. Anyways, I hope that Shondo's doing well. Genuinely though, I hope she's doing well, because she did have a mental breakdown as far as I'm aware, so yeah. Anyways, like, comment, and subscribe.